Okay. Okay, right. We start the last session of the class. Some are joining. Okay, we are talking about 7 issues pertaining to biology. Number 1 is diversity. So much of species on earth, we need all the species. Number 2, human body. We should understand the organ system of the human body. And the plant are the producers for all life. And natural resources we discussed. The 5th one is sustainable food production, right? In the future you are learning these things, gene technology and all these things, but just to get an idea, this golden rice project, they take vitamin A from plant, daffodil and one bacteria, and insert into the rice plant. And the rice plant, it produces vitamin A, so people can benefit. Just one example. And then they use biology, and the scientists, two scientists, one is called, they are from two Swiss scientists. They headed this project. One is called Peter Bayer, like this maybe, Peter Bayer, and the other scientists who actually help the people by providing this kind of informations, knowledge to increase the sustainability of the food. Okay, so we are now moving to the 6th one. 6th one is disease. Right. We should get the knowledge about the diseases. Again, directly the doctors and health professionals working in the health area, they are handling this kind of things. I think again, these days we are much aware of the diseases, why they are important, how people can help, how expert can help, like that. But if you look many years back, for example, 200, 300 years back, so I will give these questions to you, but if you can't answer the question, it's fine, because I'm not expecting answers for this question. If there is a disease and 200 years, 300 years, people, they don't know about disease. So what they try to learn from the patients and try to understand, and by experience, the knowledge is increasing, right? Because diseases are two types. One is infectious disease, and the other one is non-infectious, also called communicable, and the non-communicable. Infectious means a disease can transmit to another person, from person to person. This one doesn't transmit to the other person, right? For example, cancer. The cancer is affected by this person and is not spread to the other person. So if a disease like this, infectious disease, for example, COVID-19, If one person get it, it can go to the other person. So we can broadly categorize disease into infectious or communicable and a non-communicable or non-infectious disease. Now, another disease is diabetes. Interestingly, many years back, people found a method to find the diabetes patients. Let's say, like 300-400 years back, technology was not there. They don't know about things, and what they did, this is the method they use. Okay, this person is called a water taster. So he's provided this urine sample, and his job is to taste it. Then if we see the sweet taste, then they decide this person has too much sugar. That's the problem, is he has too much sugar. What was actually the method they used originally about the diseases? So if I mean, just for interest, I mean, if you know a little bit, A, B, C, D, what is the reason for diabetes? So you have A, B, C, D, 4 choices. I'm not expecting right answers always for this kind of thing, just learning purpose. What would you think? So you can read the 4 choices and you can give answer A, B, C or D. Yes, I got 2 answers. Three answers, yes, fine. Yeah, I think some were able to get the correct answer. That's fine. Some answers are correct, very correct. Yes, that's one of the important disease, diabetes mellitus. Many people are affected in the society, and it is believed continuously increase among people all over the countries. The reason is, okay, another one. Yes. The main reason behind the diabetes is the hormone called insulin. The hormone is insulin. So you will learn these things later on. So if there is a problem with insulin, then glucose molecules, you know, the most important functional unit is the cell. So every cell should get glucose, then they can produce energy. So plants make photosynthesis glucose. So we eat plants, we get a glucose, then the cells get glucose. So glucose is the energy source, then the cell get energy. As long as energy is there, life is there. That's a fundamental thing we discussed. Simply, we can say the insulin needed push glucose into the cell. Insulin can push glucose into the cell. So insulin is no longer there. Insulin is waiting out of the cell, just like the oil ships are waiting days and days around us, because money we can pay the money, then the ships are waiting. Same way, insulin is the one push the glucose into the cells. So what will happen? Then glucose can't go into the cell. Then glucose increase in the blood. Then too much glucose has to leave from the body. If cell is not taking, then they select the urine. So they go to the urine. So I think blood glucose remains elevated. Elevated means increased due to lack of insulin. Lack of insulin means less amount of insulin. So glucose is excreted. Excreted is removed from the body in the urine. So we can take C is the answer for this one, right? I took this one to discuss about the knowledge of disease. Now look at the picture. What kind of a knowledge we had that time? It's a ugly job. That really, how to say? It's very unpleasant job. He has to do taste the urine. Which one has diabetes? Now, understanding the diseases, today we have a different approach. Thank you, smartwatches, monitoring diabetes from your wrist. So when we know the disease, the diagnosis is like this nowadays. That's the development. So we are heading to the development with the knowledge. All right, so again, can you recall what we did? Diversity, human body, plants, natural resources, then sustainability, we miss sustainability, natural resources, and two things, I think two things left. One left, diseases also, right? Diversity, human body, plants, and then the natural resources, sustainability, diseases. So we learned 6. The last thing is legal issues, right? The last thing is the legal issues. Legal issues is that is come under the legal and ethical issues. Okay, I think you understand what is legal. It is something to work with law of the country, because a set of rules written, and then if things are happening out of the rules, then it's go against the legal things. That's a legal issues. But I think most of them not aware about the ethical issues. What is ethical? So how we can explain the ethical issues? Now, ethical issues are not written as a law. It is the belief among the people. That means majority believe that is wrong, and some people think that is correct. Then the advantage for the majority, that's wrong. Let's say we take a concern like one issue is like eating beef. If you take the topic eating beef, some will say it's not ethical because of this. And some say I am eating beef because this. So it's a person belief and issues existing, and law cannot make anything. There are many things in the society like that we can list. For example, let's take one like abortion. Now, some countries, abortion is legalized. Some countries, it is not legalized. It becomes ethical issues. So, like legalized country, yes, due to this reason, it is recommended. But countries not legalized, it become ethical issue. Some say it's yes, some say no. So it's existing like this, right? So biology, use of biology for these legal and ethical issues. Let's take one story. I think probably you may not aware, or maybe you are aware. There was a case in 2010. A small 5-year-old girl called Saya was abducted. Abducted means forcefully taken away. That means without the consent, without anyone interest, forcefully taken away, abducted, and raped and killed. So then there are 4 suspects. So there were 4 suspects. Based on some kind of evidence, police arrested this 4 suspect. But you know, no one will say, yes, I did this one. They say, no, I haven't done. I am innocent, I haven't done. So the evidence not enough to prove who is the right person, because no clear evidence to prove now. So in this case, the science is coming. So how it works? This is the crime scene. The person abducted, raped and killed. They take a biological sample from the dead body. I'd call autopsy. So autopsy is the dead body is used for the post-mortem inquiry, right? And the people who are engaged forensic, the science is forensic science, they are handling this thing. So they take the biological samples. These biological samples are not belongs to the dead person. And how do you know these are not belongs to dead person? Let's say one example. Probably under the nails, they have some small piece of skin cells, because when they struggle, scratch the person, other persons, and then they get some samples under the nails. So they are the biological samples, or maybe some kind of semen samples from this person, in this case of rape case, and they take the DNA from this, and after that they take samples from these persons, and then they take DNA. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 DNAs, and this is the DNA taken from the crime scene. And we have a technology, we can compare this sample with these 4 samples. So when we compare this sample, it was very clear these 2 persons they haven't done this one, because this red color DNA has nothing to match with this yellow color DNA. So they released. And the 3rd person, in the real case, he confessed. Confessed means he himself started to tell Yes, I did like this. He started to tell this one. But the forensic scientist checked whether this is again matching with, and they found even though he accepted that he did it, his DNA is not matched. So then he is also not the person, even though he is trying to tell. So what happened actually, this fourth person did it, and he asked him to tell like that because he's a brother. So this is two brothers, and he told to his brother, you tell, then I can escape. So then they checked this person and they found it's matched. So then the person get the punishment after that. So you see how our knowledge helping us to make the society better and still find the right person, legal and ethical issues. Okay, so I have completed now the 7 issues pertaining to biology. These 7 issues, it's good that you have a knowledge. So far there were no questions directly asked, but its applications are interesting because this one, and our question is, well, how we can check this DNA match with the other person. You're going to learn this thing you're going to learn, but you have some background now. What you are learning is not only for the exam, just to make your pathway towards a better person that who can serve the society. Okay, 7 issues completed. Right, now we have a small discussion. If you have something to ask, if you have something that you would like to tell, yes, we can discuss. Let's say question time. Okay, I think nothing much. If you have a question, you can bring it. We go into the other thing. Next lesson on the note, check it. Nature and organization of living world. Diversity of organisms, size, shape, form and habitat. Right, we are little bit looking again the diversity. Diversity in terms of size. Right, now the size, we can understand very well about these units: centimeter, a meter, millimeter. Right, centimeter, millimeter and meter. I don't think we have organism can measure in kilometers. There's not huge organism, but meters, mostly we use meters. And we can use let's say elephant. We can measure in meter, or maybe human. And let's say animal which can measure in millimeter. For example, snail. And the millimeter, well, we can measure small maggot, the white color worm-like things. Life cycle of flight is called maggot. But this is not the diversity of the organism. We have to move further to micrometer and nanometer. So bacteria we can measure in micrometer, and virus we measure in nanometer. Now you can understand the unit. If you take, this 1 millimeter, this is 10 to the power minus 6, 10 to the power minus 3. Millimeter is 10 to the power minus, this is centimeter, minus 2, minus that one, not, I think I measure this one from the millimeter, right? That means 1 millimeter equal 1000 micrometer. 1 millimeter equal a million nanometer. Like this. So you can get an idea. Millimeter we can see still from the ruler, but if we divide the millimeter into 1000, that's a micrometer. If we divide millimeter into millions, that's a micrometer. So organism exists in this range: virus nanometer, bacteria micrometer, and other organisms like this, they are big in size. Again, organisms vary in shape. You can see the maggots are like a more cylindrical shape, and the elephant is very different shapes. And also a form. One is single cell, one is multi-cells. The last thing is the habitat. That means animals live in the terrestrial. Animals lives in the terrestrial, mean the land. Organism lives in the air, birds, like things. Organism lives in the water, fish, aquatic, arboreal, and terrestrial. So we have a diversity on Earth, all the stages: air, water, land, and different shapes and different size. Right, it's not a big lesson. After that, we are coming to the next 7 characteristics of organism, right? 7 characteristics of organism. This is the one frequently asked from the exam, several times asked in the past from this section. 7 characteristics of organisms. Right, I try to remember these 7 characteristics like this. Right, this sentence, oh my god, it's a red hen. Oh, it's a organization. M for metabolism, G for growth, I irritability and coordination. A is adaptation, R is reproduction, and H is heredity and evolution, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because there are some structured essay question. You are asked to list the 7 characteristics of organisms. Then it is important, like even the previous lesson, if you forget these 7 issues pertaining to biology, but this one you need to list 7 characteristics. I think I have added this question at the end, maybe, can't remember much. Yeah, so this is important to remember the 7 characteristics of living organism, right? Organization, metabolism, growth and development, adding at development, irritability and coordinations, adaptations, reproductions, heredity and evolutions. I think some of the things you are aware, but some we have to still discuss. Let's say, do you know what is irritability and what is coordination? Do you know what is metabolism? You may know certain things, but we have to discuss each one and their importance. I mean, what is adaptation? Example, growth and development, you have idea. Growth is increasing the size. Development are change the structures. Organization, organization is living things has a very level from smaller to large. There's a nice organization. Like generally we know meaning of these terms, but I think we should know precisely, because there is a question again, essay, structured essay, they ask what is growth, what is development. If you don't use the right word, you don't get the marks. So we have to use the right word to get the marks. I mean, we can say growth is increasing the size of organism. Generally it's okay, but with the marks given, we have to match the right meaning with the marking scheme. So I make again asterisk here. This means exam point of view, this lesson is important. There is a chance of asking a question from this section. All right, I think I don't have enough time now to continue this lesson. We can change the class time in the future when school start of evenings or some other weekend time. But when these days we can do the class, some of them did not join today because of the poor day. They can join next time. I think still some of the students can join this class. If you know, ask them to join. Still we have 1 or 2 slots. On Wednesday, Tuesday class, there's another one on Friday group. There's another group starting on Friday. They can also join if they want for the Friday group. And if you have a question, so use our WhatsApp group as a live group. That means you can post something on it, like anything related to science, news, and any questions about our lessons, exam things, concern. Because many different students in this group from different part of the country, so we can share them. It's not just only for me to share the information, but you can also use the WhatsApp group to interact with the other students, because they know something, some information that you don't know and I don't know, like that. So we can exchange the information. And if you have any concern about the lessons, feedback, and you can also send it to me. I think what we did today, you spend the time to add something and read something and remember. So then we can finish next week and we can start Unit 2 next week again. I think there's a small thing to finish this lesson, and there's another lessons. The organization of the living systems. Then we can start Unit 2. All right, so Do you have any questions before we stop? No, it seems you don't have a question. Then we'll stop the class. We will meet again next Tuesday at the same time. Until that, take care and have a nice time this week, right? Okay, see you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
See you.